Over the past year, I have met countless business owners who are leaving millions of dollars on the table because they are not preparing their business as an asset to sell. And the first step in selling it is going to be the one page teaser. It will be the document that will generate the interest from buyers or they're going to pass you by. So stick with me as we walk through this document.
Welcome to the Launch Capsule with your host, James DuBos. Buckle up because your launch capsule begins now.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey there, this is Jim DuBos, and thanks for joining me on another episode of The Launch Capsule. In today's episode, we are going to focus on the initial one-page teaser, also sometimes known as a blind profile, that is going to introduce your company to potential buyers. So this is going to be a high-level, anonymized summary to spark that initial interest from potential buyers without, I repeat, without revealing the identity of the business. And it's part of kind of this document process sharing before a non-disclosure agreement is signed. And then after that NDA is signed, you will actually deliver what we refer to as the SIM, or the Confidential Information Memorandum. So in a later episode, we're going to talk about SIMs and how they're constructed. But today we're focusing on this one-page teaser. Now look, in my last business transaction, we generated over 65 responses from business interested parties, right? People who are interested in acquiring the company from an anonymized one-page teaser. So this is a critical document in the initial introduction of the business. So let's break this down. So number one is the business overview. It's anonymous, and think of it as an industry classification. So as an example, maybe it's commercial HVAC or specialty manufacturing. You're going to use a general term there. You're going to give a general location of the business, Southeastern U.S., Midwest, etc. You'll give a brief history and a years in operation just as a highlight to the business itself. You then want to describe what does the company do in generic terms. And then what are the unique selling proposition or maybe the key differentiator for your business? That's it. That's the business overview section. The second section is going to be what I refer to as a financial highlights section. Revenue last year, really it's going to be the last 3 years. And then the TTM, or the trailing 12 month, so that a potential buyer can see how is the business tracking this year in comparison to the 3 years previous. I like to provide an adjusted EBITDA number, the last 3 years again, plus the trailing 12 months. It gives the potential buyer a perspective of what a potential multiple might be. Gross margin might be something that you represent depending upon the business. That's optional in many cases. A percentage of revenue growth year over year, I find, is a critical indicator on this document. And then I like to put a summary of any add backs or normalization adjustments that you do over a period of time. That's it. That's the financial highlights. Number 3 is what I refer to as investment highlights. It's really just a bulleted list of what makes the company attractive. Do you have a recurring revenue model, long-term customer contracts, high customer retention rate, scalable operations, or maybe something proprietary in the company, some intellectual property, minimal CapEx requirements that are necessary. Maybe you highlight your management team. Any of those things that would be considered an investment highlight for a potential buyer. Next up, number 4 is going to be your growth opportunity. What you want to represent here, my dad used to say, you want to leave something in the future, right? Or meat on the bone for a potential buyer. So how does growth come post-transaction? Is it going to be expansion into new markets, new regions? Do you have a product line or service line additions that you're going to execute? Is it e-commerce or digital transformation? Is it strategic partnerships or additional M&A opportunities? However you project growth happening, this is what you want to highlight in this section. Number 5, the transaction overview. The type of transaction that you're seeking. You want a, majority recap? Do you want a full sale? Are you looking for a minority growth investment? What is it that at a high level you're looking for? Number 2 is the reason for the sale. I think it's critical that a potential buyer need to understand, is this a retirement? Is this growth capital? What is the reason for this transaction? And then the role of ownership post-transaction. Are you going to stay on for the full transition? Do you want to exit post-transaction? I think it's important for a potential buyer to understand what the ownership is thinking. And then lastly, the contact information, number 6. If you have a sell-side advisor, which I strongly encourage, or an intermediary, you need that person's contact information, email, phone number. If you have a deal code, we'll call it Project Atlas as an example, because many investment houses get lots of one-page teasers. And so by referring to a potential deal code, it helps you and them identify any dialogue that might go on. And so those are the top 6 elements that are going to be in a one-page teaser. And this is really just to provoke a potential interest from a potential buyer or investor partner. Like I said, in my last transaction that we executed, this is really I'll say a stage that I would call the indicator of interest, or IOI. And it's really just a response from a potential investor or buyer saying that I'm interested, I want to see more, I'm willing to sign a non-disclosure agreement to get a full confidential information memorandum from you. And then from there, we'll make decisions if we want to move forward into what we refer to as the LOI stage, or the letter of intent. And so in the next episode, I'm going to start to break down the SIM. What are the elements of the SIM? What are key components to consider so that you can generate the most interested parties in this journey? So look, thanks a lot for your time. It's the most valuable thing that you have. I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope you have an awesome day, and we'll see you in the next episode.
That's a wrap for today's episode of The Launch Capsule. With your host and mentor to success, James DuBos. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and share.